Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, the return of Shakur Stevenson has been announced. Of course, right now, Shakur Stevenson is the unified super featherweight champion, holding the WBC and WBO world titles. Last couple of fights he's beaten Jamel Herring for the WBO and Oscar Valdez for the WBC. So Shakur Stevenson is coming off a couple of pretty good wins, in my opinion. But when you look at the super featherweight division, nobody was really happy with the circumstances surrounding Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. Obviously because Oscar Valdez's fight prior to that, he fought Robson Conceicao, defending his then WBC title, and essentially he got a gift decision. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as most people are concerned, Robson Conceicao beat Oscar Valdez fairly comfortably, you know. I felt it was fairly decisive, like an 8-4 type of fight. I didn't see any way in which Oscar Valdez won that fight. For me, Robson Conceicao, he dictated the fight and where the fight was fought. Of course, he was the taller and longer man, and for me, Robson Conceicao was far more effective on the outside. I felt he did a pretty good job of keeping Valdez behind those straight punches. Valdez was following him around in straight lines. And yeah, honestly, I just felt Conceicao won that fight clearly. I really did, you know. He boxed as the taller, longer man, and he won the fight that way, you know. So yeah, going into that Valdez-Stevenson fight, that robbery definitely took a shine off that unification fight. So I'm pleased that this fight is happening because, quite frankly, it should have been Conceicao versus Stevenson in the first place. And, you know, Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion, I would rate him above Tank Davis and Devin Haney in terms of talent, in terms of potential growth. I personally believe Shakur can still get a lot better. And yeah, overall, I just see him as having the highest ceiling compared to Devin Haney and Tank Davis. And yeah, I like this fight with Robson Conceicao. Like I said, it should have been this fight in the first place for the unification, but it's good to see Robson Conceicao get his rightful shot. And yeah, I mean, stylistically, Robson Conceicao, he brings some different dimensions to the ring, a different style to the ring, in which Shakur hasn't really fought yet as a professional. One thing about Robson Conceicao is he's a big boy at super featherweight, and Shakur's not small. Shakur himself is 5'7", with a 68-inch reach. Of course, he's a southpaw. He's not a small super featherweight, but Robson Conceicao is an orthodox fighter, 5'10" and a half, with a 70-inch reach. So he's got 2 inches in reach and 3.5 inches in height, and primarily Conceicao is a straight puncher, likes to keep it at distance. You know, he's one of those guys. He doesn't really wow you, but he does all of the basics really well. He's a solid fundamental boxer. It is Robson Conceicao, and I'll be interested to see what fight he tries to apply in this bout. Is he going to try and make Shakur Stevenson be the leader, you know, take the lead? Is Robson Conceicao going to try to utilise that height and reach advantage and make Shakur chase the fight? In my mind, that's exactly what he needs to do in this one. Of course, failing that, he can then kind of try to rely on that size to change things up. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens if Robson Conceicao can dictate range and make Shakur chase the fight. For me, Shakur Stevenson is best when he is being the counterpuncher, you know, pouring with his lead southpaw hand and firing that straight left hand down the pipe and really kind of timing you, tagging you as you're coming in and as you make mistakes. And yeah, it will be interesting to see whether Conceicao can fight in a style which minimises that, you know, which makes Shakur, I would say, be the aggressor. Again, I think that's what he needs to do here. I like this fight. Since that defeat to, well, I say defeat, but since that loss to Oscar Valdez, Conceicao came back with a pretty good win over the unbeaten Xavier Martinez. He won that fight decisively, outboxed Martinez. So yeah, right now, I mean, Conceicao's coming off a couple of good performances, and yeah, Overall, I would say this is a pretty solid title defense for Shakur Stevenson. When you look at the super featherweight division, I mean, there's not really too much there for Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, there's a unification fight with Joe Cordina. But in terms of head-to-head matchups, I do think Robson Conceicao presents one of the most interesting styles for Shakur Stevenson. I mean, super featherweight isn't all that strong. Stevenson's already beat Oscar Valdez. But aside from that, there's really not too much there. But Robson Conceicao is one of the better opponents. So yeah, all in all, I quite like this fight. And by the way, it goes down on September the 23rd and takes place in Newark, New Jersey, which I believe is Shakur Stevenson's hometown. So yeah, I mean, interesting fight. Interesting fight. I do believe Shakur wins this one, more than likely on points. You know, Robson Conceicao's a tough guy. He takes care of himself in there. Defensively pretty sound. I'd be surprised if Shakur wins by stoppage, but I think he'll probably win on points. But it's a good little fight. It's an interesting test for Shakur Stevenson. And yeah, Conceicao brings a different style, some different propositions, I would say. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. What about you guys? How do you see this fight going? It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.